You might not believe this, but you don't have a content problem. You might just have a consistency problem. Let me fix it. One way that I make things easier is through repeatable processes. So if I can, I like to set a mic, a light, the camera, anything that I can set and leave it between shots will inevitably save me time when it comes to making the next shot. If you are less lucky though, and you don't have a room or someplace you can theoretically leave things in, the next thing to consider maybe is this one man band style setup where people will take C stands or desks and create basically their setup with a smaller platform. The idea is to take all of the things you need, a camera, a mic, and a light, and put them in one location so that way they can be mobile and you can set them up as quickly as possible. That way you can get recording. The other way that I save time is in the edit, where the same concept applies. Instead of going into a new project every time with nothing, I try to bring in assets from other videos, things that I've built, in order to build overall templates for future videos. Things like keybinds or presets or just general personalization can really speed up the process. If you think of things as simple as cutting in Premiere, instead of having to right click and find it in the list, simply memorizing something like Control K or Command K for cutting can speed up the process. If you're someone to use similar assets like a short zoom to an impact for emphasis, like I am, then create a transform and save it as a preset. That way you can have it in effects later on for the next video. Really, if you think about it, I had an entire section in a previous video about EQing this microphone to a specific person, a situation, or a use. All of those things essentially mean the same thing, that by creating that chain, I can then take that somewhere else and use it somewhere else, and inevitably speed up the process and lower the barrier to make videos. These are all different ways you can do this. In fairness, though, this is only a piece of the pie. It can never be the whole pie because you and I both have responsibilities and interest elsewhere that will drag us away from this process. And no matter how many room tours, gear reviews, or how to edit videos we watch, those time constraints will always be there. And for that, I do have just a little bit of maybe a piece of knowledge, hopefully that'll help you out. This is something that I personally think about when I run into these same constraints. The concept is constraint-based scheduling, where we know that this type of work has unavoidable constraints, whether that's with resource, with time, with energy, or even with attention. For me, though, I've found that positioning and parsing time rather than batching works for me specifically. Though you could do either, and there are plenty of ways to do whatever you need to do. For me, when it comes to making this kind of content, I realize that I do better when I have a singular focus rather than switching gears so often. But whichever works for you is really what works for you. So for me, I position my tasks with my time allotted. So I know that I'm a full-time employee, I know that I have a family, I'm a significant other, I have all of these other things that make me me, and therefore I only have so much time to allot to the process. So one thing that I like to do specifically is I tend to shoot a lot of my B-roll and A-roll on a given weekend day, because that's the day that I have the most of. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't write and brainstorm or edit later in the evenings, maybe after dinner or before breakfast sometimes, wherever I find that 5 or 10 minutes to do those things. The idea here is that we want to exploit the gaps that we have in our day to overall benefit the process to get to that publish button. That's what we want to do. That's the whole idea of constraint-based scheduling. And lastly, to keep up meaningful output this year, just remember that done will beat perfect in most cases. Because inevitably, you are competing with some of the greatest minds when it comes to either marketing or content creation or just video filmmaking creators, whatever the topic is. And inevitably, they will do the best because they have things that you don't, whether that's resource or time or money or a budget, whatever it is. But what you do have is a story that no one else can tell. And if you remember that you just need to get the product out for the people, you will remember that it doesn't need to be perfect. And realistically, you will also benefit by leaving just a little bit of resolution by not doing it perfectly. Because sometimes I think about the times that we think that our video has to be perfect, the lighting has to be perfect, the script has to be perfect, our wording has to be perfect. But it's those times in the middle where people actually resonate with the realism of the content because we didn't try to overdo it or polish it to a shine. They find those pieces in your content. So remember, we want to inevitably ship a good product, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So keep that in mind. But that's what I have in this one. Hopefully this helps you out. Hopefully you will let me know what you think about down in the comments down below. Don't forget while you're down there, all the usual social links for my daily stuff, whether that's on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter, is down in the description as per usual. I hope you will come check me out there as well. Beyond all that, I just want to say thank you so much for checking this one out, and I will look forward to seeing you throughout the rest of the year and here in 2026. And realistically, I hope to see you in the next one. So don't forget, hit that subscribe button. For now, I just want to say peace out. Thank you so much, and I'll see you real soon.